Alrighty, hello friends, how's it going? Yo, see who's here. Shoney's, hello. Captain Mal, hi. Connie, hola. ODM, what's up? I didn't remember seeing the he's buh emote. That's a good one. Kill switch, hello. Oh, it's my partner anniversary apparently. Torque wrench, that's a good one. Bert, hello. How's it going? LFK, Elquan. Plastic Bits, hi. Trendmeister, hello. Sov, hey. Blue Crayon, hi. Lightning, you ready for that masterpiece? Which one? Which one are we talking about? Are you talking about the GMK set? Mason with the 58 though, thank you. Hello Lightning, congrats on everything. Thank you, Funzy. Thank you. Let's see. Which color, stockier, blue or red? GMK set? Oh, is there anything new to? I thought they went with the I didn't love the the modifier choices they made, but I haven't seen if has there been new kitting for it. Masterpiece. Oh yeah. Oh, okay, cool. Let me see actually. They posted new kitting for it. Why is this? Okay. Why is it's huh. Hold on, I need to apparently restart my browser. They changed it. Oh, okay. Let me show it. Hold on. I can show it on the screen. I see they changed some choices here, which is nice. Okay, so I think it should open now. Alright, so they have a katakana version, a full katakana version. That's kind of neat. So this is mostly the same. If icon plus text for the katakana, and then they made the bottom row and the nav cluster text, which is kind of cool. This is actually kind of unique. It's different. I don't know much about the kana stuff, so yeah, I'm not Nihongo enough for that. That's kind of how I feel when I look at it. You know what I mean? Masterpiece has a nice blue for the color of the set, though. It's a nice colorway. But these are pretty nice changes. I do like that they went with this to make it more consistent throughout, instead of using the. So they have a Latin only set now, which they're doing icon mods all throughout. I think this kind of makes more sense if you want to just kind of keep it all consistent. So I think this is it's like a neat little change. Is this supposed to be a relegendable in the near the R1 escape? But yeah, no hiragana, no buy. Yeah. But I mean, yeah, the Latin only enjoyers can get the Latin only kit, I guess. Yeah, cool. And then they have like a numpad kit, and like an extension sort of kit with the space bars. I don't get it. 7U. Is that like an extra 7U spacebar? Why is there an extra 7U? Sorry, I don't get why there is an extra space bar. Extra 7U in blue. Is that a mistake, or is there a reason for that? No idea, but I think the kitting looks a lot better. They even added they even have lock keys for the caps lock users, so that's neat. Yeah, it's good that they changed it, I think. Maybe. Yeah. All right. So today we have a fun build. We have a navy and silver 260. So after many years of people asking about whether there will be a 260, we have a Keycult number 2 variant in the 60% version finally. After many years of 265s and reruns of TKLs and 65s and 60s even, we finally have a Keycult 260. Silver blue, yeah. Silver blue. Still sad that Hangoldby had no Alice bars. Oh, did it not? I didn't like Hangoldby as much because they omitted a bunch of the legends on the Hangul too. That's just not my preference. But yeah, there it is. Yeah, silver blue indeed. We have it in the wind key layout, and for the plate, I believe they sent out an alu plate because that's the default. I have a silver aluminum plate. Layout wise, it offers, you know, step and regular, that's ANSI, and then split and regular right shift, 6, 2, 5, and 7U, and split and regular backspaces. I distinctly remember them going on stream saying it's too close to the HKV for them to run it. Yes, so for many years, that was the resistance that the stands that they had. I think this kind of finally happened. I would assume it's mostly because Novelkeys took over, since Novelkeys has taken over the production and fulfillment side of things, like the logistics side of things. Things have shifted a little bit more towards Novelkeys also being able to push more in the decision-making process, I assume. And so between the reruns, they finally also pushed, you know, they pushed the number 3, they pushed the 1800. They, you know, we had a 160 rerun, right? Like we've had reruns for the various designs, and you know, I think finally this kind of push happened. I'm assuming that like Mike and the rest of the Novelkeys team also wanted to see this push through, like, you know, for personal reasons, like as in like they wanted to see it happen. And so I think now that they kind of have a bit more of a hand in the logistics side, I think this was more feasible for them to run it. So yeah. So hi Mikey Digit. Did I say that earlier? Maybe I did. Alright, so for the PCB, I have a solderable one today. We have, so again, for the PCB support, I get, so pretty much everything else that I just mentioned, which is like the splits, right? And then it looks like the PCB for the solderable version also supports ISO, if you wanted to do ISO. Yeah, but the plate itself is not an ISO compatible plate, so you would need to get yourself one cut for ISO, most likely. It's your partner anniversary? You built my board during your partner celebration. Oh, yeah, that was a while back, wasn't it? Thank you. Have a good stream and enjoy the weekend. Yeah, it's been a good weekend. Got together got together with a friend and we just caught up, talked about life and had some seafood, which was really nice. Really nice. Is that an RS60 with OG Palm? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. All right. So I made a poll in my server for what switches to use, and people, the poll had a 41 people out of maybe like 70 or 80 reacts or something like that. People asking for MX Browns. Alex built his unit with MX Blacks on aluminum, so I figured I would do something different. And I polled it, and like 40 votes for MX Browns, and then the rest were like between 2 and 13 votes. So very, very clear majority. So we're gonna do that. Let's grab some stabs. Okay. MX Blacks would have won if it was an option. You guys think so? You think so, ODM? I mean, probably, right? I think my server definitely has a very strong bias towards them, towards Cherry MX. I actually, it does make me curious these days, actually, because I like poll it, right? And then sometimes I think to myself, is it purely biased because of the audience, like the active people in my server, or is it biased because there has been a kind of like a growing side of the hobby that also appreciates like Cherry MX switches as much as we, you know, old heads do, let's say. I do, it does make me wonder that sometimes, you know? Like I genuinely do wonder this. But I don't know. It's like maybe. %. Is the bell curve meme or the space meme? What is this, like the average thing? Like the general average of people like falls in that like side? Maybe. Only the old charts are still in Cherry MX? Okay, fine. Old charts only, I suppose. Wait, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. I'm gonna need some more. Cherry needs to be bankrupt to be cool again. Interesting take. I don't love this one. Let's see. Oh, did I put my clip in somewhere else? Hold on. I need to look for the right bag. Oh, it's here. Okay, I was wondering where my... Wait, no, this is not it. This is not the right stabs bag here. I do have a bunch of the... Come on the EU servers and see people talk about the latest HMX and cranberry strudel crunch or whatever switches are called these days. That's funny. That's a 625, right? Okay. Maybe I'll just use some of these Canon Keys wires. I have a bunch. How many stabs do I need? 4 total, right? Okay. Should be good. Where's the info on GMK Masterpiece R2? Was that a joke? No, 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 it's not a joke. It's a real thing. It's gonna run pretty soon. It's on the Novel Keys Discord server. Go to Novel Keys Discord server, and there is a channel called Nev's Kitchen, and then in there's a thread for like the stuff that they're like basically doing interest checks for and whatnot, and getting feedback and whatnot. And there should be one for Masterpiece. Okay, yeah, I think, okay, this is not the right bag. Give me a sec. I'll be right back. Let me just get the right bag of stabs. It's just not this one. Okay. So, all right. That's all I need. All right. Can I see the mounting on the plate, please? Yeah, sure. Has long gasket, I think. 2 long gaskets on the bottom side, and then 3 sort of medium to longer length ones. Streamer override built with HMX Rain Dance Refraction Matcha 9000s. Yeah. Okay. I wish they sent you the stone. I think they sent that one to Alex. Oh, sorry. 1 sec. Yeah, I think they sent that one to Alex. He showed it on stream, I think. Right? 2, 3, 4. Oh, missed one. Right. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah, no, that's right. That's right. Okay. 2, 3. Oh yeah, I did miss one. I wish they had the configurator again so I could do classic stainless. Yeah. They did say that they did no configurator this time around because it just ends up being logistically like better for price points. They wanted to attack on the they wanted to basically make the price point as accessible as possible, and that was why. Sorry, I keep doing that screen change. Someone needs to pass. I'm like in the middle of the room, so it's like if someone needs to pass behind me, then I need to switch it. Okay. All right. So for today's build, we're gonna do a 625U bottom row, not a 7U. Just kind of feeling like it. I kind of figured I kind of like this layout, and it's a win key, so let's try that. Just got done rebuilding my ASCII F. Oh, why'd you end up rebuilding it? What do you not like about it before? But yeah, so the configurations they went with is there's a stone and polished stainless steel. And then there's the navy silver bottom, white teal, silver red, and oh, this one's already cut. And is that it? Did I miss one? Oh, black brass, right? I think. Frank built it for me, but even he said the Franken switches weren't it. Oh, I see. Yeah, I don't love Franken switches for just the reason of potentially being kind of like not a great fit for a lot of situations. They're sometimes very good though. I think Franken switches, you just kind of need to try it out and see how it goes. So you kind of risk it not going too well. So definitely feel like they, just like every switch, just kind of depends on what that particular keyboard's like, sound profile is like. Well, I won them for free from him, so I can't really complain. Oh, well, that's nice. Free keyboard. You seen that Brixies kit? What? Diego, are you excited that the Knickerbockers are in the NBA Finals? The Knicks? I know people who are excited. Myself, I don't really watch as much basketball these days, so, and I never was like a, like, you know, I would never call myself that I have been a fan of the Knicks, so, you know, I think good for them. I think that's great. I'm happy for them. I don't dislike them. But I don't follow basketball enough to even have a right to say anything about it. You know what I mean? I don't know the players anymore. So I kind of just don't know much about basketball these days. Yeah. So I don't follow it, so I don't feel like I have a right to say much about it. Don't you feel that way about a lot of sports though? It's like I like watching it. I enjoy sports a lot. Like watching sports a lot. I just don't follow it. So it's like kind of feel like you lose the right to say anything about it once you stop following. Once you don't know the players, you don't know what the teams are like. You lose that podium. I followed basketball a lot more when I was younger. I played basketball through elementary, middle school, and high school. Actually, I play a lot of basketball. And then I played like intramural a little bit. And then I stopped in college. Yeah. What position did you play? I played point guard in high school. $73? Oh, Nine Walker. Damn. No, I didn't ignore you. I'm actually just catching up with chat. I missed Drew earlier. Hello, Drew. I don't know what Hastura is talking about. The brown Nixies that came in parts. Oh. No, I don't think I know about this. Oh, is that the an Asian store offered that, right? The MX Browns, Nixies, whatever. I think I saw that. I haven't seen anyone try them though. K-Tex? Yeah. Ooh, speaking of K-Tex, I'm excited to mention that they reached out to me for an RF8X build soon TM. I don't have the unit, so I don't know. I think they are extending the buy like a week. Or a week? Yeah, I think a week. So we'll hopefully get to check that out. You're telling me there could have been a Diego Sanity? No, that was so bad. That was not good. I mean, high school means nothing. The problem with high school level, like I was short, right? I'm not very tall. I'm like 5'6", right? I'm like 5'6". I can't even say I'm 5'7", really, right? So, like, I may have been like fast, you know, good dribbling, whatever, right? But like, or like, you know, I think like I was good. Like my reaction was like good, you know, like I could like quickly pass the ball and like, you know, like make plays happen, right? But like I think when you get to college, the physical, like the mere physical difference is just too big. People are too tall. Like they step 10 steps and they're at the other side of the court. You have to run for it, you know? Like that difference alone just destroys everything. Yeah, I was like, I'm not fast or good enough to get past that. So when I went to college, I just played intramural with friends. You know, we just like scrimmage with friends and stuff. So yeah, no, but up to high school level is like acceptable. You know, like like I could run my courts. You know, but because I you know, when I was a like growing up, I was in track and in basketball, and so I was a quick runner. Um, but yeah, like I was, you know, I was very good at fast breaks. Like that was great. But in high school that works. But yeah, once you get to college, it's not even possible. Also, mind you, I play basketball in Mexico, and I think basketball level is probably different. Like in the U.S., I feel like high school level can be very high. So yeah, yeah. You had your own Kuroko no basket power. Ankle breaker. Oh god. Yeah, no. Um, yeah, I mean, I enjoy sports. I just never was. I can't say I was like great at them. I was just about average to try hard average, better than average sometimes. But I you know, I didn't do sports that much because I, you know, at some point I hit a cap, and I was like, okay, I think it's good to just enjoy it for the game. Yeah. Um, but yeah. And now it's like I'm not fit. So yeah. Skip this one. Oh wow, oldie. You hit cap? How could you? Yes, for not showing up to the meetups that I showed up to. I just sent a DDoS attack and hit cap. Right where it hurt. Looking forward to see your stream. Oh, hi Chris. Thank you. It's extending for 2 more weeks. Oh, 2 more weeks. Okay, I thought it was 1 week for a sec. It's gonna be chaotic, okay? Like, I'm not sure if you can already see. I have a bunch of totes here, right? Like, I've had these already, but thank God we finally signed the lease for a new apartment. So I'm actually moving next month. We have nothing packed. There's a lot happening. I have a work trip this month. There's KeyCon, which I will be going. It'll be my last like keyboard event for probably the foreseeable future for a while. And then we have to pack and move. It's just chaotic, but you know, one step at a time. One step at a time. Like straight up, we haven't done that much prep because it's like gotta move first, gotta get an apartment first to actually be able to put stuff in it, you know. So it's been busy. If you have the cash, use movers who also pack for you. No, we prefer packing ourselves. Packing is time consuming and it sucks. We definitely will be using movers, but I think the packing we can do ourselves. It is true that movers who can pack for you are very good at what they do. I just kind of get nervous, especially because a lot of our stuff is like from my keyword stuff and whatnot. So there is a lot to pack. But between that and like we have like teaware, like, you know, like ceramics and other things like that, and you know, like that stuff we gotta pack ourselves, right? And the rest, honestly, it's not that bad. Like clothing and like some furniture stuff, right? Like books, you know, like random stuff around. Like that's not too bad packing wise. We've done it a couple of times, so I don't think it should be too bad. You found a place? Yeah, we finally did. This housing market actually sucks though. Like there were weeks, so basically straight up, you know, so before so for those who are not well aware of how the New York housing market works, up until last year, so I moved here to this current apartment last year, and last year in around June, July, they banned they passed a law that basically prevents does not let brokers from charging, you know, tenants, like the landlord broker, tenants a broker fee. So before that, you know, before that law was passed, basically if you are looking for an apartment in New York City, you would have to pay the landlord's broker the fee, which usually can range anywhere from 1 month of rent to 15% of the annual rental, you know, cost. It's just a lot. It can be anywhere from, you know, if your rent is $2,000 and $2,000, but it can be all the way up to like, you know, $5,000 or whatever it is. It costs a lot of money. But the thing with that was that it was kind of like a competitive market, and like a lot of listings would come up. You know, there are brokers out there who are, you know, happy to make their commission, right? And this year, I think maybe it's because we're also kind of looking further away, and also we're looking at like you know, like a bigger space. The market for that is smaller. Like we're looking for like 2 bits, let's say. The market for that is like smaller. Like the supply is smaller. But I also feel like due to the effect of that law being passed, a lot of agents are essentially kind of gatekeeping their own listings. Essentially, they're not putting them on the boards, right? Because they either want to, you know, use their private network to, you know, get it rented for the landlord without having to post on the boards, which costs them money on the daily basis that they put it on. And it's just easier to deal with, you know, friends and family or people, you know, right? So like a closer network. And so and in some cases, which is illegal, by the way, they'll be like, we can talk to your landlord, we can talk to your prospective landlord and reduce, let's say, $300 on your rent if you pay half a month's worth of a broker fee to us. It's illegal, by the way. It usually does not go on paper. It's like an informal agreement that they try to push on you or things like that, right? So people are still trying to do stuff like that, obviously, because it's a relationship thing, right? For them, it's like, you know, they work with their clients, they still work with their landlords, and at the same time they can still kind of earn their commission, and it's like a win-win, supposedly a win-win kind of situation, and all that. But I do feel like as of this year, the kind of like the supply in the market has been rougher for sure. Like there were weeks when we would see no activity on the boards, like in New York, people use Street Easy a lot. But like there would be like no activity on the weekends, or like if one pops up, like if a decent one pops up, like let's say like decent to goodish pops up, it obviously goes right away. They go really fast. And so yeah, the supply this year, like when we were looking, we started looking fairly early too, like early enough to see the like move out dates that we're looking for. And even then, like I feel like we saw relatively fewer compared to like the year before in general, like activity wise. Like supply is smaller, so there is that, but definitely felt like it was a rougher market to work with. But yeah, so thankfully we found one and signed something, which is fine. We keep thinking like whether maybe we overpaid for it, but yeah, at this point it's too late, right? But it's kind of a rough market for sure. Yeah. And I used to pack and just move it by myself. Oh, I would never move by myself again. No, it's so strenuous. Yeah. We will definitely pay for movers, but we'll probably do the packing ourselves. I think that was not too bad. If you ever forget to pack your artisans, you can send to me. You can pack along with them, but they use a bunch of bubble wrap and cloths. Oh yeah, that's true. They do. Yeah. When movers like helped us with furniture stuff, that was sweet. Because they do use a lot of materials to make it work. They're like experts. They're so efficient. Like the good ones. I don't think you should have to pay those fees, but I also don't think you should make a law. Well, it's pretty egregious in New York. That's why they had to pass a law. They actually, the law was there around COVID time. They tried to pass that law, and essentially the realtor industry lobbied against it, and they managed to reverse it once already. So it finally passed after being reversed once before. Yeah, it's the housing situation in New York is definitely like tough. And this really goes to like everyone, like, you know, working, middle class, whatever, you know, like it's just a rough market. And so I agree. I mean, I wish it were better regulated. Like, I think at least like for, I don't know, I feel like California probably has it better in terms of that. Like, I don't think you guys pay, I think people in California like pay like crazy like agent fees, right? Like as a tenant. Like assuming you're not hiring an agent yourself, because I think that, you know, obviously in an ideal world, the landlord's agent is paid by the landlord and the tenant's agent is paid by the tenant, and each side has their own agent and they have their own requirements, and they reach an agreement, they pay their commissions respectively if they're using a person. But yeah, in New York it's pretty egregious, and basically landlords are like, if landlords paid their agents normally, then it wouldn't be a problem. But it's because landlords are trying to push the cost onto the tenants, which to me is, you know, I mean, it's ridiculous. Like years before this, like we were losing anywhere from, yeah, like 5 to 10 grand just on, you know, it's rent, first month rent, and security deposit, and the broker's fee. So, you know, like that, you know, boom, 10K gone, you know? And so it's a crazy amount of money. I had to pay agent fees in Boston. It was the only, yeah, it's the only way to rent in some of these places. It truly is the only way to rent. Like there are, you know, there's loopholes and there's ways around it, like no fee situations, but like it's crazy. I mean, it's just like supply is limited, so it's like a tougher situation. Agents also choose to accept, yeah. I mean, there's this debate goes on, right? Like agents choose to do so. It's all kind of scummy, right? Like people are all acting in their own interests. So, yeah. Ultimately, I agree that like perhaps a law may not be a necessity, but I think the situation in New York, I think, has boiled over. Especially, I mean, yeah, I mean, I think for high cost of living areas, right? Like you can assume that rent will always go up unless there is effectively a crisis, which in the case of New York, that was, or in the case of most of the United States, right, that was COVID, right? COVID like caused an obvious decrease in rent. And I think the last time people essentially reported a decrease in rent was briefly for 9/11, after 9/11, in those like in the affected like neighborhoods, and then during the recession in like 08, 09, right? And that's pretty much the only times that people have seen an actual decrease in rent, for example. And this is like more of a rent price discussion, but yeah, for the agent thing though, it's just been around for a long time. And I'm kind of glad that as tenants we don't have to pay like an agent, that if we're not hiring one specifically. Is this the NK 260? Yes, it is. It is. So expensive for no reason. All he did was meet with us at Torrent. Yep. Yeah, that's how it is here too. Also, thank you for the 20 months. Thank you. It would be less likely to have this concern if the price of rent wasn't so high. Also, so many people want to live there. Also, by choice is a conundrum. Yes. It's ultimately the pains of these big cities, where there is a clear, you know, supply and demand problem, you know, mismatched supply and demand problem, and people just kind of agreeing to bad terms. So it is what it is. But the food, yeah, I mean, I agree. The food is good. I will miss the area that I'm in. So yeah, I will miss the area that I'm in. Like I'm in the like Astoria area, and it's like a nice, it's a neighborhood like kind of has a lot of like I would say like European and Greek presence, but there's just a very like solid presence of just like diversity and food and like all that kind of stuff, and it's pretty sweet for food. I'll miss it. It's a very vibrant, very active sort of neighborhood. It covers like a larger age range too. So, but yeah. Oh, moving again? Yeah, have to. We cannot avoid the moving part. I mean, I guess we could, but we would probably regret it down the line. Yeah. Oops. Okay, there we go. Does this mean it's easier to hit up the pochas in Pal Park? I will be further away from Pal Park. I'm not moving to Jersey yet. I'll still be in the 5 boroughs, but I'll be further away from Pal Park. The realtor also has work to do for many possible tenants and meet with them either before or after. Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree that realtors have work cut out for them. And they deserve to be obviously paid for work that they do. But yeah. Mason lives in the suburbs of Idaho. Potato? Is Idaho the potato land? I think it is, right? Wait, is this the right? 625U. Hold on. Is this the right wire length? Oh, I think I picked up the wrong wire. Give me 1 sec. I have a 65U wire here. I think I picked up the wrong wire for this. Give me 1 sec. Where did I put it? Is this the right wire? That's 625 here. Okay. Yeah, I think this is a 6U wire actually. Confused it. I'm not a realtor, by the way. No, yeah, I know. We're just kind of discussing, right? We're just kind of discussing the issue at hand, which is fair. I think that's totally fair. Seems like Japan, I pay agent, owner pays agent, then I also pay a deposit plus a gift to the owner. Huh. Interesting. Big oof, Rick check. But realtor gets 1 month payment from owner. Oh, they get paid a decent amount then, because you're paying the agent, the owner is paying the agent, and then you're also putting a gift on top of that. Oh, that's quite a bit of outgoing, right? I mean, don't you think so? Being agent is good money? Yeah, it can be, yeah. Damn, okay. TIL. About Japan. I didn't know that. Specifically about Japan. The way it works there, you know? Only if you're good at it. I mean, as it goes for a lot of jobs. I mean, I think there is definitely I mean, there are probably a lot of agents too who, you know, get into the industry because they think that it's like a quick and easy way to make money, right? So when you start having a lot of the same type of people, yeah, it gets harder to earn that commission, right? And to get like good clients, like working with people who own a lot of buildings and such. So yeah, I mean, for it to pay off, you gotta have a good network. For it to have good networking, to be good at your job, it just goes. The gift kills me. It's just like KOD fans asking for tips after you just drop 500. Yeah, it's just such is this life. Yeah, some of these industries are rough. They're harder. Like 4 times 1 month. Yeah, wow. Damn. Yeah, I mean, wow. Well, okay. Well, I'm not complaining too much, essentially, though. It's just how it is, and we accept it for what it is. Obviously wish things were better for everybody, but beggars can't be choosers. When you gonna buy? When it's reasonable to buy. That's when we'll buy. When it's reasonable to buy. When will it be reasonable to buy? It's a great question. I don't know. I personally think, it's actually, for me, it's actually not about the interest rate, at least in New York. It's about maintenance fees. It's very high. It's very expensive. Upkeep, maintenance, like invisible costs. Yeah, because I think it's doable because if you're buying to live in it, right? Interest rate could be a little high and it's manageable. Like it's not ideal for your mortgage, right? But it's doable. It's manageable. I think for us, especially like here in New York, it's always been the question of like, if we were to live in it for 5 years plus, right? Then will it work out better than renting, essentially? And also, now that, for us, the bigger question now that we are, family planning, right? Like we're like having a kid and whatever. It's a question of like, where do we want to settle? So needs a bit more research. Admittedly, we haven't done enough of that research, so that's probably the more honest answer as to like why not now. It's that we are just not prepared yet. But I think the right time will come sooner than later. Yeah. Don't know when exactly. Generally unmanageable because people get a loan and then use all the money they get approved for versus just getting what they actually. Yeah, that is true. There's also like lifestyle creep, that kind of stuff, right? Yeah, that is very true. That happens a lot. That is very true. Banks will approve you for so much. Hey, if they have something to they can make a lot from a pretty high principal. So yeah, it's true. If you're in decent standing, banks can approve you for quite a lot. Have the banks heard of Lightning Industries? Hopefully not. You can include upgrades for appliance and furniture in your loan too? Yeah, I think you can, yeah. 2060 might be reasonable. As long as value increases? Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah. Obviously in New York, there's also like, for example, co-ops are cheaper, net, but the rules can suck for a co-op. You have to live in them. You can't do blah blah blah. Right? There's a lot of rules for co-ops. So by extension, condos become more expensive. And then when you look at the actual cost of the condo, you have to consider like how much, you know, how much is your down and how much ends up being your monthly. And for now, for us right now, it's a little bit past of what we want. But again, we need to do more research. We need to figure out where we want to settle. So hopefully that'll come with time. Put in your business name. That could be risky. It's supposedly clear liability, but you know, still. It's not soldered, so it feels like it's kind of loose. You want to move to CT, Connecticut? If our career can afford to make that move, I think we probably could. If you know, job things dependent, but yeah, I don't know. I lived in Connecticut for some years, for my college years. I went to a school in Connecticut actually. So I know Connecticut. I'm familiar with Connecticut. I've driven in Connecticut. I've lived in Connecticut. Yeah, but just got back. Do I see a 625U spacebar? Yes. Yeah, 625U spacebar. I think on the WinKey it can be pretty nice though. So that's why we're doing it. I think they can look pretty good on WinKey. Kind of like this one right here, right on top. You don't think so? Maybe some people disagree. It's okay. Don't worry. I'm gonna build 625 on WinKey also, but also no split right shift. Oh, no split right shift. Going for the old school poker layout. Just full right shift. So what do you end up using as your FN here? I guess down here. That's fine. I guess I've used the full right shift layout for a while. Not my preference. At least just like for like FN key use, but mostly out of muscle memory, I guess, muscle habit. But still doable, yeah. I got auto modded. This is censorship. Okay, hey, I approved it. I approved it. Agree WinKey, but 7U. I mean, I think I like both actually. I actually am not a WinKey 7U hater, generally speaking. I actually don't hate it. I actually have WinKey boards with 7U, which I like. I don't entirely hate it. Yeah. I just think 625 can also look pretty nice, or you know, yeah, can be pretty nice. Okay, I just need to remember what. I always forget for WinKey what the end positions for these guys will be. I think, yeah, it is the right one, right? Yeah, and then yeah, I think it's the further ones like that. Okay. Okay. Let's get that soldered up. So let's see here. I think I have a fan here. Let's get that on the table. Okay. I'll be your fan. All right, let's start this up. Mainly doing it so I can use my Win95 keys. Wait, Win95? What is this, Blue Alert? Is it for the Blue Alert set? Are you getting a silver one, or what's the deal? Or are you getting a navy one rather? Nine Walker? Oh, it's from Classic Retro. Oh, Classic Retro. Oh, okay. Nice. You're getting silver. Yeah, the silver red is gonna look pretty good. I think, did Alex build that one, silver? I think he did. I think the unit that he had might have been HKB. Oh wait, no. Win keyless though. I think the one he built was win keyless. Classic Retro is the first set I ever bought, so I want a permanent home for it. Oh, okay. Is that the originative set? I think that one is the one that had the win keys, right? Is it the one with the colored ones? I love those colored win keys. They look so good. I actually don't have that set. The originative one. But I remember always seeing it and being like, oh, I would get it just for those win keys. They look so good. I think Verdant Retro might have been one of the more recent sets that had the same colored win keys for the more recent sets. But yeah. think my first ever set was Tuesday. Oh, really? Wow, Kupo, did you join the hobby like that much later than us? Is this like mid-COVID? Because Tuesday was a COVID set, right? I know it. I remember. I was talking about it. It took like 2.5 years to fulfill. My first GMK set was GMK Carbon. That was my first GMK set. It was February 2020, so right before COVID. Yeah. Dang. I joined after Kupo, I think? Oh, really? Wow. Hashira, you act so much like a boomer for someone who joined that late. Well, you know what I mean, taste-wise. Like, taste-wise. I feel like you have like a, you know, more of our era-coded taste. Which is not a bad thing. It's a kind of like a compliment, you know. I'm saying it more like a compliment, okay? But it's not a bad thing. It's just I feel like they're like, you know, like if you ask 10 random people who join at the same time, right? Around the same time, I think the results, the observations may vary quite a lot, you know? Quite a lot of variance in that result, I think. In that measurement. Okay? That's all I'm saying. Who's selling those new Korean stabs here in the States? Bowl. The 4-wrap stabs? Bowl. They're not that new. I think they came out like a year ago or so in Korea, maybe? Right? They came out a while back in Korea. I remember seeing them on, like, featured on Korean, like, videos. But they just got them imported here in the States maybe, like just recently. I think Bowl is the only one currently selling those. Wait, does Divinity also have them? Maybe Bowl and Divinity. I think the two usually import stuff from Korea these days, like whether it's from Swackies or Gion and such. They work with some of the Korean providers. Yeah, DK has them? Okay, cool. I do think I still have a DK referral. Importer exporters, Vandalay Industries. I joined in 2022 and have boomer keep taste. I mean, I think it's fine. I'm not saying you guys are at fault or anything. I mean, in fact, a lot of people that I talk to on a regular basis also joined around, yeah, like mid-COVID or whatever. Because a lot of people who joined also earlier than that have left already, you know? So a lot of the people I talk to have joined much more recently, and yeah, I think that side of the hobby just doesn't really ever go away also, right? Like there's always gonna be the people who want the classic and old and boring type of like setups, right? Because it looks nice. Admittedly, it is classic and boring and old for a reason, right? It is kind of like timeless. And yeah, I mean, one thing I like about like Cherry and Gateron stuff is like they're just kind of reliable, so kind of know what to expect once you try them a few times. And frankly, I guess the other thing is you don't end up switching it up that much because why switch something that's not failing, right? It's a preference thing too, but yeah. If a board sounds bad with Cherry and Alu, I don't want it. I mean, it is true that it's not much of a... I don't think, like, people sometimes say, like, it's... It's not like Cherry sounds better than everything else. It's more like because they don't bottom out on the on the Switch itself, like, you know, because you don't have that like loud sound coming from the Switch itself, it doesn't mask a lot of the other stuff that may come from the board, right? And I mean, I personally actually don't use long pole, not because they're like loud or bad sounding. I actually really like how they sound. I don't end up using a lot of long pole stuff because it's long pole, because of the shortened travel. It throws me off. Mostly just like if I use it for a while and I switch back and forth between other things that are like 4mm-esque, it actually throws me off. But Cherry does sound better? It's arguable, I think. I do think certain boards do sound better with like long poles. Actually, I would argue that, like, for example, like the Keycult 265, I actually think it sounded better, in my opinion, with like long pole linears, for example, than other things that I think I've tried. I think generally speaking, they do sound pretty good in that like line of boards. But there's some boards that I just like prefer to have cherry on them. Or actually, in some cases, I don't want cherry and I just want like GAT yellows or something like that. Diego likes the shorter poles. Yeah, oh well. Modest fella. I am just but a modest fella. When did Gion release the Frog TKL? Frog TKL was not too soon after he was bigger in the scene. He did F18X and a few other things, and then Frog came about fairly quickly after, I think. Might have been maybe a year after he was in. So that would have been like, I don't know, 2021? Frog? It's been a while now, Frog. (2021, 2022? Something like that, I'm assuming. That's how I feel about my 165. Built it with film lavenders at first, but didn't click with me. Ended up using Kale BCPs, which I got the PC plate though. Hoping NK runs in 165 so I can cop a PC plate. Well, one thing about, at least, I mean, you can get a PC plate made, by the way. The files are out there. It's not that hard, I think. But I guess, yeah. I mean, that way you don't have to wait for somebody else to run it. But who knows? Maybe if you really look, someone actually might have a 165. Like a 165 compatible plate. Frog was 2022. F18X was. Oh, okay, I'm just confusing the years. I thought Gion was in 2020, but I think you're right. 2021 might have been when Gion entered the scene with F18X, like to the international scene. Cause I heard about Gion because I had someone in the Korean community tell me about a person who owned a factory who was getting into designing keyboards. And so I'm not sure if you guys know, but the Gion F18X is called Keycult, and in Korean, and it's actually like supposed to be because the design was inspired by kind of like the gasket mount of the Keycult boards. So it's called Keycult because I think it's like Sangwoo, like the like the, you know, like Gion's like company name, I think, and then Cult for like Keycult. I think that's what it's called. Like basically, people told me about it, but they're like basically like #2 killer kind of board, you know. Essentially, it was kind of like you know, like it was kind of like, it was not marketed like that. It was just people were talking about it like that in the Korean community, I think. And then I remember he joined the international scene because people started kind of catching on, like from like Koreans posting their F18Xs and whatnot. And then I remember he really made it big in the scene because, you know, obviously he's like his own factory, right? So like designer and factory, so it's kind of a big deal when you own the means of production. So and yeah, I think the big growth phase for Gion Works was like a year, but I remember it was like, yeah, I thought it was 2020, but I guess it is right that it's 2021. 2021 is about right, because I also didn't make my website until later. Ugh. Wow, it's been a lot there. Gross. But yeah, it was like I made my website because someone randomly said you should put all your like build albums or like whatever, like your photos that you post on like that you post on Reddit and stuff on like or like on Insta, like on in a one place, right? And I was like, why not? Actually, the website was like, I made my website and like the branding stuff because someone else was like, you should just put it in one place. I didn't intend on doing it. And then I was like, yeah, it's a good idea to just kind of keep track of all the stuff I do. And then that kind of worked out pretty well. Yeah. I'll never give up my F1. I still have my F1. It's like one of the first batch blue gray ones, I think. It basically looks navy, but it's like it was called blue gray when it was sold to me. Gian contacted me for that, and yeah, I paid for that, and it was considered like first batch blue gray. He was like, "Oh, I have a blue gray unit left over." I was like, "Oh yeah, I'll take that." But I still have that, yeah. I think I built that with Gateron Giants, like the Milky Top ones. There is a website. There is a website. 9. Have you tried the new hotness Korean stabs? No, I haven't bought new stabs since I bought like a bunch of like Knights and like whatever. I still have a lot of TX too. Yeah. What's boomer keep taste? Someone asked. Cherry MX on aluminum, beige Dolce Wob only type things. Text icon. If my icons are not OG icon only, then it's bust. If my print screen nav cluster is print scroll pause, then it's a buzz. I want pert sys req and pause break and scroll lock in 2 lines. Things like that. You know, boomer taste is like stuff that's like the way it was always meant to be, sort of taste. You know, like the people who like praise that, which includes me, by the way. I'm a boomer in taste too. So there's a lot. Yeah. No foam. That's a big one, I think. So I think boomer taste, foam is actually not a bad thing, by the way, in my opinion. I think actually people in back in a while ago, like, you know, maybe like OTD days or whatever, would agree. Foam is used as a way to aid something that isn't working, right? So in my opinion, it's a great additive. It shouldn't be a requirement for a board. You be able to have a nice board without it. But if you feel like something's missing, like if you feel like, oh, it's a little too much resonance for me, for my own taste, put foam in. I mean, people did it for the OTDs and the Kmax and the whatever. They you know, you bought an old Korean keyboard and they would have like a thick piece of like yellow foam inside of the case, because they're pretty resonant cases. They didn't sound that good, you know, like not all of them, but you know, like especially Kmax, I would say Kmax are very, very hollow. And just like, yeah. So people would put like shelf liner and foam and that kind of stuff, and it's a great additive way to kind of tamper with the sound without having to desolder all your switches and do other things. I think that's the thing. It's a great way to mess with the sound without you actually having to rebuild the whole damn thing, because that's pretty annoying to do. So if I had to keep 3 boards, it's 2 of them. Probably MX slash Alu, I guess, Browns and CF. Yeah. Okay. Just catching up with the chat here, or rather going back down. I have a plate made out of polypropylene for my 265. That's nice. Polypropylene is nice material too. I like polycarb a lot too, for what it's worth. I love my F1 that was made out of scrap alu. Ooh, recycled alu. That's pretty cool. First international was a frog. Oh, okay. Cool. A little bit of history there. I didn't know. Korean government contractor, John. Yeah. Shoni said Sag that Gion will be moving all the keyboard manufacturing to China. Oh, really? Is it because it's unsustainable, or is it because he's busy with contracts? Maybe because I mean he does a lot of big work, unrelated to keyboards, right? So RV Yanu, hello. Haven't caught a stream since the announcement. Thank you. Congrats, thank you. People pulled out the pitchforks for over F2. Vanquish 65 will finally become the Vanquish 65. Oh yeah, wow, that board was a long time ago that he talked about it. Thanks for chatting. Going to make dot cake ripoffs and get fat. Nice. I made cookies for the first time like last week. Turned out okay. We actually didn't have like, I didn't have like chocolate chips, so I just used cocoa powder. Turned out okay. A little cakey though. I think it was because I didn't use the proper sugar. I didn't have like granulated sugar. So I just used like regular like white sugar, and it was a little like, it ended up a little like sort of like powdery, kind of like cakey, you know. I was thinking it was maybe, I was debating whether it was the age of the flour, but I don't think it's. I think it was just like no molasses to like keep everything together. But yeah, I made cookies for the first time the other time. I don't bake actually. Never really baked. Never really wanted to. I made some cookies because my wife was craving them. Random, completely random, by the way. His government contracts pay the big bills. That makes sense. Yeah. Even though 60s are my favorite layout, if I had to keep one board, it would be low-key be the F1. That's not a 60 though. That's fair. Gian NATO drop in. Acoustic tuning. Yeah, that's fancy way of putting that. Yes, that's exactly right. Drew is putting car dampening sheets in his whale. Car dampening sheets? That's not the first time I hear. People did this too. I have a friend who used to put those the really fucking thick car the car use dampening thingies. The only problem with some of them is that they're really sticky. They're like they basically are like super dense, and like it kind of sticks to the metal. So they can be kind of a pain to put get off if yours has like that like more like sticky sort of texture to it. Not the polyfill, but yeah, the other one. But yeah, there was a polyfill meta too. The stuffed animal polyfill thing. Yeah, cause there were cause people just have that around, right? Yeah. Shelf liner is good though. Yeah. It's when they put foam between the plate and PCB that's like, what the fuck? What are we doing here? Yeah. I think I actually wasn't against that idea at first, because I was like, well, there literally is empty space between the PCB and plate, so if you fill that, you're kind of covering that without putting it into a case, right? The part that I didn't like for me about PCB plate foam, like the PCB foam, is that it actually ends up being compressed a little, but it's ever so slightly thick enough that it kind of pushes back against the PCB. You know, obviously you can like solder properly and like make sure it's all pushed down, but like it alters the sound a lot, and it actually kind of changes the way like this the I guess like the subjective amount of stiffness that I would feel from the build, and that's what I wouldn't like about the PCB foam builds most of the time when I would do it for like clients and stuff. But yeah. Jokes on you. I like oatmeal raisin. Oh, oatmeal raisin, yummy. Make raisin cookies and tell people they're chocolate chip. Damn. Main reason for the move to China is due to raw material CNC and cost and lack of proper anodizing services. As it is with the US, right? You can manufacture all you want here, but proper finishing is very hard to find. It's the unfortunate reality. All right, let's get this into the case now. Case full mod. Nice list of mods. Mason collects amazing pastas, or rather Even now, I think Mason's pastas have evolved to the point of meshing many of, like, merging several. I love it. Loved it. Killmat 9W. Oh wait, Killmat? Is that like the dampening material that you were talking about? The car one? Or is that a different one? You mean tape mod? Yeah, well. Tempest mod? Yes, tape mod. Tempest mod is tape mod, right? I'm pretty sure, wasn't it that one? Wasn't it the one and the same? Tempest mod, tape mod, wasn't that like one and the same? I hope Mr. Tempest is doing okay, actually. I regretfully don't have any of his pullers anymore. You guys remember I had a Tempest puller? He made key pullers for a little bit. They're great, but the only problem was the joint portion between the wires and the handle was a little easy to stress, and so mine broke, basically exploded. So I actually returned it to him because he said that he was gonna do a new one, and then life got in the way. I believe, if I recall correctly, he had a kid. I think, right? And so it never happened. So I don't have a Tempest puller anymore. Wait, what is this the right screw? Was it the early units of the F1 that didn't have badges at first? That sounds right. I don't remember mine having a badge. Need to add Alps switch mods. What is there? I mean, would a wax oil method count as a mod? Maybe, or paper mod. There's paper mod. That's for restoring, like, or rather, fixing the clicking problem on tactile Alps switches. That's paper mod. You basically add a material between the leaf and the housing to prevent the because of the design of the Alp switches, eventually it wears out, the leaf wears out, and it causes this clicking noise even on tactile switches that are not supposed to click. I use a puller that came with HHKBs. Is the best one. Oh, that one's a good puller, actually. I have a bunch of those. I've given out a bunch of those too, like randomly to people who like don't have pullers. I think I remember one time I went to a meetup and I just left those pullers at like tables because I had a bunch. I found that just lubing the back of those works best. Otherwise, paper mod can create. Oh, I see. It's a little too sensitive to that. It's like a tolerance issue, I guess. Yeah. Oh, the gaskets are pre-applied. Oh, how nice of them. Thank you. Awesome. I don't need to do this. It's not as many gaskets this time, but still. I have 5 because reasons. I understand. You don't have to explain your reasons, 9. I get it. I'm in the same camp. I'm no better. I'm actually the worst of all of us. So... What is engraving now on the inside of Keycults? It still has the same old. It just says Keycult 260 Design and Rally, North Carolina. So kind of the same thing. It just says 260 instead of, 265 or 2 GKL. Made in China? Yes, I believe so. I believe these are manufactured and made in China in general. Like all the novel keys ones, pretty sure. Hongtua. Is that the menu? I mean, they do a pretty good job, I would say. I think their quality is pretty good, generally speaking. I think I've heard that their MOQ is a little bit higher, right? I think that's the kind of like what might be the limiting factor for some of these boards. Do you know gender yet, or keeping it a surprise? Oh, we know gender. Yeah, we do. Doesn't CK also use Hong 20? Yeah, I think they had some designs that they run through for them too. I don't know if it's all of them. Might not be all, but I think they do. Yeah. I do remember might have been the 980 board that they didn't end up running because of MOQ, but I think it was that one. And some of the AKB projects too. DM me and I send you good stuff to start on the weeb journey. Weeb journey already? So early. It's never too early. Fair. You can do a selection test to see which path. Oh my god, what would the selection test even be like? If my kid is anything like me, it's Jover, guys. It's Jover. I was joking, you know, talking to a friend that I hope that, you know, my kids like my wife, who's very chill as a kid, and they can turn out like me later maybe, but like I was such a devil child when I was growing up. I would get into like arguments and fights a lot. Like with kids and adults. I would talk back a lot. I would like not eat. I would not like a strike, so to speak, but like I would be a very picky eater. I was not a great kid. My parents definitely had a hard time for me. If the baby picks a navy hat instead of the devil fruit. Cool selection test. Okay. Shin-chan, Doraemon, Pokemon. That's actually not bad. That's actually a pretty modest selection test. Yeah. When are you going to teach the kid how to lube switches? Oh, the children yearn for the minds. Yeah, I mean, I will be happy the day I can make my kid do chores, right? Like the day I can stop doing it myself and just being like, hey, wash the dishes. Hey, put the dishes in the dishwasher. Hey, vacuum the floor. Hey, wipe this table down. Free child labor. Yeah, you get the idea. Hey, no allowance if no chores done. Man was travieso. Yeah, that was not good. So I as a kid I got bullied a little bit too, right? And I was telling my friend that I would sometimes kind of pass that pain onto other people a little bit, and it was not good. I would get into trouble for sure, like disciplinary trouble with friends, with like people, like other kids. Oh man. Not good, not good. Propane? What? First Lighting Industries employee? Number 1, yes. Actually, wait, no. Number 1 is me. Number 2 is my wife, because Kiwi is the CEO. So that would be number 3. It would be number 3. Oh, that girl you called ugly? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I regret that one. She turned out. She was really cute, by the way. It's like, I remember getting to like, was it middle school or high school? Someone told me, actually. Someone reminded me that story. Someone told me, hey, do you remember her? She was the one you called ugly at summer camp. Like, when you were like 9. Or like 10 or whatever. I was like, fuck me. I felt so bad, bro. I felt so terrible. Oh my god. It was, oh god, that guilt still carries on, man. I don't know. Jesus. I was forgiven, by the way. I was told that yeah, we were just young and stupid, and especially me, I was the stupid one. And I was forgiven for it. For being extremely mean to someone in like 4th grade. Is the board gonna call a meeting and replace Kiwi with new CEO? Oh, Kiwi? New CEO? I mean, Kiwi will be permanently like board of trustees kind of in this visual, right? Like he'll be like, I still make the rules over here. Were you living in Mexico at the time of the ugly incident? Yes. This is anything that I talk about between the ages of me being born and like 18 is it's all Mexico. I didn't move to the US until after that, so. Can you share how kids say that in Spanish? I mean, like ugly is feo or fea. So I basically was like, I think you're ugly. Like, I was like, pienso que eres muy fea or something like that, which is I think you're very ugly or something like that. And she basically cried. It's terrible. Terrible, man. Are you calling me ugly? Maybe. You brought that upon yourself, Fede. Tú eres muy fea. Come on, tú eres. Please. Your 4th grade Spanish is not coming in clutch today. You need to conjugate those verbs, man. Properly. I can't conjugation. You also cannot English. Chinese don't got conjugation. This is true. That's true. No articles, no conjugation. ¿Dónde está la biblioteca? Yes. Okay, I think that's it, right? Looking pretty clean. All right. Decent amount of compression to these gaskets. Still feels a little cushiony, like not heavily actually. It definitely feels like a nice and tight case. Just like pressing hard on this. But let's put some keycaps on this. What should we put on this? Chat solo en español? Oh man, you guys putting me on the spot though, because my Spanish is pretty rusty actually. I don't speak that much Spanish other than like occasionally, I talk with my friends like from high school and like before, and then like when I go out to like a bodega or like to get food and like obviously people speak Spanish, I speak in Spanish, or I'll order like tacos in Spanish. I'd be like, oh, like quiero unos tacos de like dos al pastor, dos de oreja, like whatever it is, right? Basic stuff, but I haven't done like I feel like my Spanish degraded a lot over the years because I don't like read as much in Spanish or like watch movies or TV in Spanish as much as I used to. I don't follow as much music as I used to. I would follow a lot of music. But occasionally I'll play like my like Spanish rock playlist, and that'll be nice. Does the bodega still hook you up with the special spicy salsa? Not the one here, I think. Not the one nearby, no. Sobrinas dijo popochas. Pacific could be nice. I think someone else suggested Blue Alert. I can suggest a few sets. How about that? I can give you a few suggestions here. Do you go check Discord? Oh, okay. Okay, I'll check that out. Once a minute. I've seen a lot of videos, like reels and other videos out there about people being like, when you pronounce the Spanish intentionally or whatever, when it's like the quiero una quesadilla and un burrito. I think Mason shared that one with me. That was very funny. The Spanish teacher reels, yeah, I've seen some of those. They're hilarious. I can relate. Excuse me. Oh my god. My 7-year-old is asking how many artisans do you have? I have a lot. I have a lot of artisans. I can't tell an exact number because I actually don't know it off the top of my head, but I have enough to fill a few keyboards. Probably. My 7-year-old is asking where you keep all your keyboards. Closet. Drawer. Behind me over here, there's like a little cabinet. Not cabinet, like a little shelf. Cause her dad only has 8? Oh no. Do not justify this. Wants to know exact address for some reason. Okay, here's my social security number. And also, here's my credit card. And here's 3 numbers in the back. Okay, so I'll suggest some sets though. People were, there's Arctic. There is Birch, Blue Alert, Classic Blue. Someone said Pacific. Mother's maiden name. Oh my gosh. Space Cadet could be a nice set too. Sets that I think would be nice on this. Beige stuff in general. A lot of beige. Got Gorb, obviously. I don't think I think Gorb I prefer it on lighter boards, so maybe we'll skip that one. Hammerhead light. Actually, it's not the dark one. What other sets? Panels, I guess. Panels. This can be nice on blue. Prussian blue. Okay, maybe I'll do Nautilus. Yeah, Nautilus too. Wow, I haven't seen that one in a while. Maybe I'll do a Pole Dent. I'll group some of the ones that I've seen in the chat. So I saw some suggestions. Key set. Saw Pacific. Blue Alert. Let's count that as the beige. Let's count Nautilus. Because why not? Couple more. Let me see. I'll put Space Cadet. I haven't seen that set in a while, so I kind of like that set. So it looks good on Navy. And maybe the fun set will be panels. Put panels on the oh, you know what, maybe I'll put DCS in general. I could probably whip something up with DCS if you guys want to hear DCS something. I don't know what yet, but we'll figure it out. Okay, pick your keycaps, fellas. I don't have Rainy Day Shoni, so that's why I didn't put that one on. I don't have Seafarer, so I didn't put that one on. I don't have High Vis, didn't put that one on. Oh, a lot of people voting for DCS. I'm actually kind of more surprised about that. Cool. Nice. Okay. Okay, I'm skipping this. Oh, a lot of votes for DCS. Oh, surprise. People don't want the GMK today. That's fine. That's cool with me. That's cool. DCS and MX Browns do sound pretty nice, actually. So it'll be a nice combo. Okay. We have a pretty close vote, and it's about to close. Boom, DCS. Alright, I'll get some DCS. I'll be right back. Oh shit! Cops are here for me. Just kidding. BRB. Okay, I have two sets that I'll have you guys choose from. I have two sets that I actually haven't gone around to use because plans change, I guess. The first one is a Dolch set. It's DCS, I guess M Dolch is what they call it, but it's like a small run set that Mr. Captain Mike ran. There's that one. And then from Sneakbox I got these. This is the gray alphas. Basically I can do Space Cadet but not Space Cadet. So I have the blue mods and the gray alphas. Can do something like that. Spurs versus Knicks, Diego. Oh wow, cool. Wow. Do you hate the Knicks, Kupo? Another poll. I like the Knicks. Oh, you do? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. You vote full Space Cadet. All right, let's do DCS at home. It's either Space Cadet, quote unquote, or M Dolch. I'll do a 1 minute pull for this one, just make it really quick. Pick, 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 pick. Rapid fire pull, come on. Chop, 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 chop. Alec Brunson and Hart, I have no idea if these are all new players or not. Spurs are gas, hopefully they're rest. Huh. Have you seen Miami Dolch for Q4 this year? Who's running that? Who's designing that? I saw there was a Dolch set from, was it Carter? I don't like the kitting. I think it's kind of unfortunate. The kitting is very convoluted. It's very a lot of fluff. Which I personally think is kind of bad for DCS. DCS suffers from high cost, to be honest. And frankly speaking, hitting MO keys with DCS is doable, but at the big expense of money is not quite worth it. Yeah. So hopefully Miami Dolch, if it runs with a fairly trimmed out kit. I think that's what I would probably say about that. Yeah. Alright, let's do this then. I'll open the mods first, maybe. Yeah, let's do that. Opening these is kind of annoying. Your next players, hopefully you can catch a game or two. Okay, I'll try. I frankly have not been paying attention to sports. I wish I did. I kind of do wish I did. Just, I guess, lack of motivation, honestly. Someone remind me, which one goes first? Win key or FN? I think it's win FN control on the right side. So that. And then caps lock, tab, enter. Oh, this is a nice blue. It's like a, has a very small tinge of green into it, I think. It looks really good. Where's my FN key here? Okay. This is better than the bags that used to come in. Yeah, I think for quick inspection of whether everything's there, this is the best way for their stuff. Yeah. I do like this packaging. It's convenient. Although obviously once you open it, you gotta sort it and everything, right? So, is this 625? Yeah, okay. Look at that premium DCS packaging. Yeah, can you tell I haven't opened it? Let's not forget this, just in case. Put it in here. Oh, there's some extra bars. Okay. World famous Keyrus has honored us with her presence. Yes, for real. Pride of Japan, even. I like that one. I have a special respect for shiny keycaps. It only shows use and how much you love your keyboard setup. It's like my D65 with my 9009. Ah, I love me some shine sets personally. Yeah, I mean, it does feel a little icky when I try somebody else's shine set, because sometimes I'm like, is it shiny just because they heavily use it, or is it because like it's kind of greasy and like, you know? But just, you know, assuming it's clean. Otherwise, shine does show just like use, and I also really like that. And personally, I don't mind the texture of shiny sets. Like especially if I was using it. I think my carbon set is pretty shiny. I have a WOB set that's kind of shiny. I think my it's either 9009 R1 or R2, or one of my base sets are also really shiny. I think my burgundy set is on the shinier side. Hyperfuse also. What if it's shiny from acetone? Then I mean, then it's not from Muse. Left or right thumb? I do right thumb for spacebar. Can you would you believe me if I told you that I used to be an index finger spacebar user and then I fixed it? I fixed my typing like over the years. Actually, like, well, actually it was the first year I was into keyboards I started fixing it. I actually wanted to try 40s and ergo stuff a lot, and so I was like, I can't type on those if I don't fix my typing. So I forced myself to type on a split keyboard, which back then didn't have the two B's on both sides, and that helped me a lot. And also forced me to use thumb for the spacebar, which was nice. I still actually use B from both left and right. Actually, that one I never fixed fully. But yeah. How do you do index on space? Just like this. Just like, well, that's what people do. They just rotate their wrist and will use the index finger on the spacebar. It's not logical. It's never like it's never been a logical thing. It just kind of happens if you don't learn how to type properly, which was the case for me. Yeah, I never learned how to type properly, or at least I guess I never enforced it on myself. So I type improperly a long time. Now that you mentioned Hyperfuse, do you see Gion is running it? Yes, I did see it. I don't love the kitting, but I did see it. It looked like Hyperfuse Origins rather than just Hyperfuse. Yeah, I love Hyperfuse, but yeah, I thought the kitting could have some changes to it personally. Yeah. Let's see. What should we do for the? Thinking maybe. That works. Let's do this slate. This blue? This blue is a pretty good match. A blue skull? Oh, a blue skull artisan? I have a blue skull artisan. Like, would this one be okay? It's a little lighter. Has like an orange eye. Actually, down on the keyboard it looks a little better, but in the light it looks lighter. Like if I lift it up. Actually, let me see if I can. Maybe you can lift the board. Or do you mean like a clack type of skull? I don't think I have a Reaper, like a Brocaps Reaper that's blue. Oh wait, I technically do, I think. Nine, did you have an opinion? Do you want like a... Do you mean a clock? Yeah, okay. I can do a clock. I think I'm pretty sure I have a blue. Okay, let me go get it. I think I have to get it from a board. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So it's not a perfect match, but this is the one I got here. I think it'll still looks good, I think, because there's some of the gray kind of helping and the white. It's not perfect, but I don't expect it to be a match. It's hard to make it a match. Show the profile diff. Yeah, so there's it's a little taller because it's OEM. It's OEM. That's DCS. A little taller. Yeah. Can we see the bottom? Yeah, of course. It's a anodized silver bottom. Tolerances look pretty good. Yeah. I miss Poner. Me too. He's around every so often. Like he comes in. He lurks. He lurks. Okay, let me set this up. Sorry for the humongous window. Just does this now. I don't know why my browser just does that thing. Never told it to make my windows like maximize, but they like maximize automatically now. So maybe some update kind of changed my options or whatever, but or maybe it's OBS, I don't even know. Or the Stream Deck thing. Okay, let's do that. Guys want to look at it from the side, maybe? Is this better? Maybe this is better. Maybe I'll bring it in a little. Okay. Oh, it's not focused, is it? There we go. That's better. Oh, it's a little dark. There we go. Okay. Now let me adjust that. Okay, and turn the music off for now and adjust. All right, let's get to it. All right, folks, so we got our Keycult 260 built with a aluminum plate. We have sort of DCS Space Cadet, you could say. This is MX Browns on aluminum with DCS keycaps. And yeah, no foam, cherry stabs, and that's about it. All right, let's give it a shot. See how it sounds. There it is. Sounds pretty nice. Very DCS-esque, which is kind of a more high pitch, kind of a bright, it's a very bright sound, especially with MX Browns. I think it tends to be a very bright sound. I actually have DCS with MX Browns on my Doll, the Unkit and Holly board. I really like that combo actually. That one's plateless though, so it's a little different, but it's a nice sound. It does use some gaskets on that too, so I guess some similarities. But it's a nice sound. This would sound very good with GMK2, I think, yeah. Alright, let's listen to the mods. Nice spacebar. I really like 625 use spacebars. The way they sound on the Wing Key builds. They sound pretty nice because it's a little shorter. But yeah, pretty neat. I actually think I like the way Cherry MX sounds on the slightly smaller form factor for the 260 over the 265. I actually think. Personally, I think actually, yeah, I would say like the 265. Personally, like just building different 265s over the years, I really like the sound of like long pole switches and similar on the 265, regardless of the plate. But I think on the 260, I mean the difference is not huge, but maybe it's the changes in the way the gaskets are done too. They use these two long gaskets here, and then like I think it was 3 at the top. But the way it's like the compression and all that, it's done. The design's done here. It's really nicely done. So it's a nice sound to this board with Cherry. So I'm a fan. I really like this. And yeah, the current board color with the keycaps goes really nicely together, right? So that was a nice pick. I guess I'll just here's the thumbnail pick-ish. Hello, MX3A exists, just not what you think they are. What is MX3A? New switches? Perchance? Perhaps, rather, not perchance. And let's move this. I can show the rest of the board here. So there it is. DCS. This is the DCS. These are the DCS Flex kits that were done through Sneakbox and SP. Sneakbox bought a bunch of the extras, I guess.
for that run, and so these are the flex kits for that. I got a couple just because I saw them in stock and I was like, oh, those would be nice. This was a purposeful purchase, right? I purposely purchased the blue mods and the gray alphas because it kind of looked like Space Cadet, and I don't necessarily want just Space Cadet. With with all the Greek, or all the sub legends, the cadet sub legends, and so I thought it would look really clean, so got it like that. But a nice match for the case. DCS. Actually, DCS profile looks really good on this. I guess that's technically not DCS, but maybe this way. Maybe this way. But it looks nice. But yeah, I think the 260. If you have been waiting for it, I think it's a nice purchase. I think the price point starts at, let me just double check that. I think it was 385, but I could be slightly off. 375. It starts at 375 and it goes to 685 for the stone and stainless steel version. But I think it's a pretty solid price for what they're doing. 3 parts, a lot of screws, and pretty nice finish. Pre-configured, but very nice finish on this case, and I think the the production units will be nicely finished too. So pretty nice. Dio, give me your next prediction on the next Keycult NK collab board. Zach once upon a time said that if we hit 2026 and Keycult was still alive, they would do a battleship, but I don't think that's happening, but it would be cool. I think the 1800 was a very nice board release, actually. I don't know. At this point, I'm not sure. I don't think they would do a 40 because they always said that they wouldn't do anything that they wouldn't use. 60 they only resisted because of the HKB HG reference thing. Too close to the original reference sort of thing. But I guess they finally caved. Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's gotta be either a variation or a rerun. New boards, I don't know. I don't know if like they're designing any new stuff. Poner did a bunch of work when he was like while he was like working with them and stuff, but like I don't know if like there's new designs actively in the works, so unclear. Ergo, maybe. I mean, it's kind of late for it, but maybe. I feel like the Ergo craze sort of fizzled out a lot though over the years. I feel like it was really big in COVID, but now it's kind of a lot less. Yeah. 75? I don't think so. I never think 75 would happen, or 40. I think those two wouldn't happen probably. He still has 6 months to deliver Battleship. Yeah, I don't know. It's a little tough. I just got into Ergo boards. FRL. The thing is, I don't know. I would agree with this, but at the point of using FRL, you're just better off using the TKL, right? Like, I personally don't see, like, it's like, why use FRL when you can just use a 65? You know what I mean? That's kind of how I feel about FRL. It's like, if you're downsizing from a TKL to a FRL TKL, you might as well just downsize to 65 when you lose the FRO. Because 75 still has the FRO. 65 doesn't have the FRO. You still have some nav cluster stuff on the right column. So I feel like when you're downsizing from a TKL, you kind of, I think naturally 65 is okay. Cohesive layout. FRL, I mean, yeah, it's spacious. I actually, one thing I don't like about FRLs as much is how long they are relative to the width. And so it kind of feels a little awkward. This is kind of actually how I feel about the, what is that, W1AT, the GeonWorks one. It's very long board. Yeah. But if you like 75%, you know, I think I actually was a huge 75% guy at the beginning of my hobby journey. My first custom keyboard was actually Octagon V1. that was a 75%, and I really like 75%. I got KVD 75. I tried I tried some of like TX 75. I tried a bunch of other like 75s at the time. I had the Singa, the first one. Oh, actually R2, but I tried the first one, and then I was like, oh, I'm gonna get the R2. The first one I just tried it because it was a friend's, and I was like, oh, I like that one. So I got an R2 in Navy. So I have an R2 Tomo. Yeah, Tomo came much later, but Tomo is a very nice 75% part too. I enjoyed the builds that I've done of Tomo. Like I built a lot of Tomos for people, and I've enjoyed the builds a lot. They're very nice. Seems to have gone out of fashion. It was never fashionable. It was somewhat niche, popular because there's a lot of OEMs who make 75s. You know, there's like a bunch of like cheap, like cheaper like 75% out there in the like Amazon, you know, like OEM scene in general. But in the custom scene, it was kind of somewhat niche. It was like it had its little spurts here and there where people were interested in them, but I think most people kind of either settle for a 65 or a 7 or a TKL. So it's like this weird in between cousin, you know, situation, and it was never like super popular. It was just like sometimes it had little bursts of popularity and then kind of like fizzled out, comes back, fizzled out. And that's kind of, I think, the 75% has been perceived in the community. I personally really like 75s though, but I felt that way. I eventually was like, wait, well, you know, if I want an F-Row, I really like the aesthetics of a TKL, so I can settle for a TKL. There's a lot of TKLs out there, but if I wanted a downsize, I can always go down to 65 and 60. In the case of space efficiency, 60 works the best. You can still have all the capabilities without risking much. So I really like 60s now. I use 60s and TKLs the most, but I still do use anything in between a 60 and a full size, no problem. Just less often. Yeah, I can use 75s now. I mean, I don't mind using them, just less often. Yeah. I want a Jaguar Tomodachi. Teacher Tomo X Monoke. Well, the Tomo was a Monoke TGR thing, right? So, yeah. I'm throwing my FRL in the trash. No, don't be disillusioned or disappointed. I think FRLs are fine. I think I personally just prefer the aesthetics of the TKL. And I think that functionally speaking, they are effectively a similar situation as a 65. Nothing wrong with them. Yeah. I think it's because I started mixing my aesthetic preferences into that equation, and then I was like, the compressed look of the 75 kind of looks awkward. 65s look a little cleaner. I can settle for one of the two, kind of thing. And so that's kind of how I started trimming out on what I liked to buy and what I didn't. Yeah. Has Gog stopped designing boards? He slowed down, I feel. Then again, he was never fast. He just kind of had ideas that he wanted to execute. I think Gog always designed for himself first. Always. I feel like with the Lily and like, you know, the most recent releases, Type K Lily and whatnot, I feel like that desire has somewhat reached its like conclusion, or at least it's definitely satisfied, you know, a lot of what he wanted to get out of it. But I've always felt like Gawk designed for himself specifically. So it's like if he doesn't want it that bad, then he doesn't feel the urge to design, which I think most designers operate by this, right? Or should, I think. You should be designing because it's something that you're passionate about. But like, which is I think why like R2s and R3s like don't happen with a lot of like Gawk's work, right? But and also it took a long time to execute them, or to get them from IC to completion. Anyway, that's that. Long rant. But yeah, do you guys enjoy today's build? Hopefully it was enjoyable. And I think I guess I'll wrap it up pretty soon. It's 11:30 now. So yeah. Okay, guess let's wrap it up here. I would have loved to try some GMK2, but it's late now. Gotta go spend some time and actually get ready for bed. It's basically bedtime. So yeah, but today was fun. I enjoyed this build. I think MX Browns with DCS always a nice choice. Actually, really think that the choice for today's like this particular build suits the board a lot better than I would have felt with a 265. That's one thing I'll say for sure. The 260 and the 265 do have some differences in the way they sound. The way they feel, not so much. They do have a good amount of compression in the gaskets, somewhat stiff because there is it's kind of like a very tightly kind of sandwiched 3-piece case. But there is some cushioning from the little flex cuts, right, from the leaf spring. But it's a nice tight sound, and it sounds good with cherry, which I would say on 265s was not nearly as much of an opinion I would have about the board. Like, it sounded a little better with other switches, non-cherry switches, I think. But yeah. Next build is RF, probably. I might have some client stuff. It's actually, that's pending. I've had some client stuff fizzle out. I said in my announcement that I was gonna keep my build services open, but I've had a couple of people be like, "Oh, congrats! I'm actually not having the board built anymore," and I was like, "Oh, okay." so yeah, that was that. I think some people were like, "Oh, you're having I'm leaving you alone. I don't want to take time from you." I was like, I literally said I had time, and it's fine. But so that happened. So I think the RF 8X might be the next thing. I might have some personal stuff saved up for later. I think basically our getting an apartment situation took us longer than I anticipated, so I actually don't have that much time between now and moving out. So I anticipate that the RF 8X will be my priority to stream next, and then for any personal stuff or anything extra, I might not actually get to it. It's just too much going on. I need to pack up the place and organize everything, so it's kind of chaotic. But we'll see how it goes. Yeah, I think that's that. Thanks for the stream. Nice build. Congrats on all the news. Thank you. Fede. All right. But yeah, so I guess I'll see you guys next time, maybe for the RF8X, maybe for something personal if it happens, or a client build if that comes soon enough. But I am thinking it's gonna be the RF8X from Keyhub Design. So I'll catch you guys later. Let's see if there's anybody to raid. Is the music too loud? I know it's like Arctic Monkeys, so it's like some of their songs can be a little loud. Okay, let's see. Is there anybody streaming at the moment? Let me check. I don't think I see any keyboard folks, right? Tonight? I'm looking. Man, the time of doing keyboard stuff, I feel like a lot of people, not that many keyboard people. No. Oh, I see a few people. Vici, CH. I see Roostery. And I think that's it for keyboards, if you guys want to see more keyboard stuff. Okay, we can VGCH is doing some other stuff, I think. We can rate Rue. He's doing a TKL build. Diego transition to parenting tip streamer? No. No chance, buddy. I'm very doubtful. I don't know how it's gonna be. I'm nervous and excited, but mostly nervous. Actually no, more excited than nervous, but it's like an 8 out of 10 excited, 6 out of 10 nerves. A lot of nerves. But we'll see how it goes. All right, let's go right through. Trad keyboard crafter stream. Bespoke keyboards for your kiddos. Interesting niche. Lots of parents will send me bad notes. Be like, my kid watched your stream and you've ruined it. You've ruined everything. You've broken our family. Whatever. Reality show? Oh my god. No way. Lining diapers. Oh yeah. Lining nappies. Alright folks. Good night. Take care. Thank you so much for stopping by. See y'all later. Bye bye. Bye 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 bye.